Well, yes, indeed. Talking about the militancy in the region now, and more so the comments coming through from the Avengers, as they say, that they were actually inviting the military to meet them in the creeks. And we're joined this morning by Emmanuel Esangbedo, who is a public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Well, much as at least a lot of people, if not all, and everybody can't be on the same page. They want to see this insurgency end. They want to see this militancy, I beg your pardon, end, and pipelines not being blown up on a regular basis. But that headline, which we saw yesterday, where the Avengers were threatening, saying, look, the military shouldn't just sit back in the office. Come and meet us in the creeks. Look, is this a wise decision to take? Because we know that, look, if the military eventually moves in there, we know the populace, the people there, will eventually also feel this. There will be a spillover effect. How do you think they should approach this?
Thank you for inviting me. I strongly believe that there's really no need for militancy operations, and there's no need for government to use force to address these issues any further. Because we know there are problems, and there's no problem without solution. I have worked with several IOCs, and I've been engaged with one of the NGOs in Nigeria here to somewhere in the Niger Delta, and we addressed some issues back then. You discover very quickly how Nigerians can be very accommodating. From the north to the south, we're the same. These people came out because the IOC sent us to go get them out so they could meet in different locations. One was in Delta Ogariki, and the other one was in Benin. And they came out. But you see, one has to be careful with the group of people you invite. The idea of saying want to talk with elders, want to dialogue with elders, doesn't go down well with them anymore. Try the younger ones.
What do they want?
They want you to dialogue with everybody across board. The Mechanic Association, the medical doctors, the artisans,
how
students.
Would that work?
No, you can walk. You just go down and reach them. You go down. You have to come to that level.
But you can't dialogue with everybody. They must have representatives.
They will have representatives. They will get the word goes round easily in that region.
They think the elders have failed them.
They think the elders have failed them.
And why are they not holding the elders, their elders, responsible?
You know, blood is thicker than water. You really can't. They've held some before. They've burnt houses in Warri. They've burnt houses in Bayelsa.
No, we're not saying they should burn houses.
So they don't want to go that far.
No, that's not the way of holding people accountable, by burning houses. We don't encourage that.
That's wrong. We're
talking about engaging them in terms of dialogue. You could reach out and talk and ask questions and find out what money is being used for what. Because if they have resources going to that region for developmental purposes, they can ask questions, can't they?
Yes, they can ask questions. You see, we have agencies set up by government. You see, that's what the problem is. The intermediaries have been issues over the years. When government comes up with a solution, thinking that it's tailored to solve problems in the region, the people naturally, I mean, we have to respect government. People sit back and watch. Take, for instance, NDDC, UNPEDEC, DESUPEDEC, and all of the others. The people sat back and watched and waited for projects to be executed. They didn't grumble. They asked questions. I personally went to the building then in Port Harcourt, NDDC. I sent documents down. But we discovered at the end of it, the intermediaries were not really functioning. It was the IOCs that were still trying on their own to come out from the 40% ownership of what they have to reach out to communities. Are you following me? The projects on ground, so they ask questions, they send memos. I send documents around. I go to NAPIMS, I go to DPR. We ask questions, they answer you.
When you were working, when you were working with this IOC in that region, who were you dealing with in the local communities?
Because we had a project then, the IOC first engaged us to work on the project site. So from that project site, we met with young men who were hired. So from the young men, we reached out to people in the
You hired the young men?
No, we didn't hire them.
Who hired them?
The IOC.
Were they from the community?
Very well from the community.
Okay. So those young men, they reached out to the members of their community?
Very well. I was taken to homes, I was taken to area leaders, community leaders. I sat with them Sunday evenings and we talked. They asked questions. What do you guys want to do? We told them. Even the IOC representative was even seated and not saying anything. The NGO and myself were the ones saying, oh, we have this challenge, we have that challenge. All right, fine. Come to so venue and air. All right, we'll have to have teachers. We need to have
so
students.
Is it true then, there are reports out there that sometimes members of those communities come to the IOCs, collect the monies and keep for themselves and not carry on with the project?
Not always. That's not always correct.
I said sometimes.
Yes, I don't know if that happens. I'm sure that happens. But the one I was part of, you see, you have to be able to, convey what you want to deliver and let them make input. The issue with intermediaries at times is going to tell them, I want to do this for you. They will listen. You give them money, they'll take. But sit with them, listen, guys, the way Obasanjo did it then that brought about the amnesty deal. Or, that's not what brought about the amnesty deal. The first discussion they had after the UD issue, Obasanjo invited them to Abuja. And they sat with him, even with governors. And they now decided, look, this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we want. The ex-governor of Delta State was in that meeting. And he was not, Obasanjo was telling them, I mean, with all due respect, our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, was not instructing the governors. Listen, you are hearing your people now. It is Abuja. You are hearing your people now. Give us milestones. This and this and this, can you do them? The governors will go, oh no, we can't do that. Okay, fine, this is one you can do. Give us a milestone. When will we achieve this? So they will hear and appraise. Those meetings must happen. The idea of violence is unnecessary. First, it's unnecessary. Because when you call those meetings, you see people will take off the military uniform and drop their guns and show up.
But you see, why I ask this question is because the agitators insist or claim that the government has been talking to the wrong people. And anytime negotiations are happening, they're talking to the wrong people, probably because those people never come back to carry out the things they say they will do.
Yeah.
So now that we're looking for solutions, you're talking negotiations, no need for military action or let there be dialogue. How should the government or governments and its agencies, how should they go about locating those people that can handle the conversation between the federal government and the state government as a whole, indeed all governments and the locals?
I think the government should send out, first of all, I think our president should make a broadcast. Where in 1994, when South Africa was on the brink of a civil war, Nelson Mandela just walked into a studio. Just walked in. Didn't consult anybody. Just walked in and made that broadcast and stopped the whole situation. When he makes that broadcast, he must appeal to the people's minds and assure them of sincerity of what he wants to do and ask the military to withdraw. Nigerians are easy to deal with. I don't know why politicians don't understand. We are easy. The Niger Delta people, they are not violent at all.
But they don't like to be taken for a ride, though.
Nobody wants to be taken for a ride. Nobody wants to, just,
All right. Mark, let's get a question. Mark, go ahead, please.
I'm just wondering, from your knowledge, from all that you've seen so far, some people will ask, why is it that there's been this new resort to violence? Do you think that there's some political motive, or do you see some criminal elements trying to take advantage of the situation?
Yes, definitely it will happen, and that is why I subscribe to for the government not to negotiate with militants any further. From my opinion, I think it's unnecessary. The negotiations should be with people. You can dialogue, you can discuss with militants, you can talk with them, but you don't negotiate with them. You should negotiate with the people. Because if you open that window to the people, I guarantee you see people who call themselves militants take off their clothes, drop their guns, and come out openly and begin to discuss. I guarantee that. Because the moment they see you, they are sincere. Because even if they don't even come out, boys in town, women in town, they have sisters, they have brothers, they have children, who will now tell them, look, it appears these guys know what they really want to deliver. They will come out. And what goes around easily there? The moment you meet 1, 2, 3, you can gather 10,000 people who want to hear you out. But you must be sincere.
Okay.
Yes.
Just give us a moment. We'll be back. It's our concluding moments now, and about you saying government should talk to the people. Yeah. There's always that big question. First, they accuse the elders of having failed them because they were living in affluence. Then they spoke to the militants, they also living in affluence. What's the guarantee that even if you talk to the people, you won't have the same kind of scenario?
When you're talking with the people, I think government should be prepared. Prepared with a business solution and then ask for input.
Business solution. Some
Yes.
consider the amnesty thing a business solution.
No, that was not really a business solution. Business solution that will be all-encompassing, that will engage people, that will create jobs for the people, by the people. I'll give you an instance. The people of the Niger Delta region, some of the boys then set up the so-called mushroom refineries, as government referred to it back then. That mushroom refinery was providing diesel from that region even up to Lagos.
Are you serious?
Very serious.
But
Because they could produce diesel and even produce condensate that was exported. And
pardon
so.
me to butt in here, but
I've seen it.
You-
I watched documentaries. I know what I'm talking about.
But you can't
So-
neglect the governments, can you?
No, you can't neglect the government. Government should come in.
I mean, state governments.
No, you see, where this issue, the ownership of oil and that the resource in Niger Delta is not in the hand of state governments. Because we're starting all over again now. We can accuse state government having diverted funds, intermediary agencies having misplaced funds or whatever, but we're starting afresh. There must be a clean slate, it must be on a clean slate and with a fresh blueprint where people have to get involved. So we have to go back to quick business solutions that can engage the people right away. They've been able on their own to set that up. And that is a business solution in itself.
You're implying legalize illegality.
No. Yeah, if you call it that way, because criminals help.
I'm not the one that called it. I mean,
No.
that's what the security apparatus has called
No,
it.
to set up, I mean, that refinery, you can legalize it by taking out of that line of illegality, provide them with, government can agree and say, okay, NNPC provide them with crude oil to their station where they refine, and then they refine. And then upgrade the system and engage people. Ownership structures will be well drawn up. Community ratios in the structure will be well drawn up. Federal government stake will be well drawn up. Even the IOCs can get involved. The NLNG is an IOC government project.
Emmanuel Esangbedo, public affairs analyst, we appreciate your coming on this morning. Well, that's where we draw the curtains today on the program. But we'd also like to remind you, don't forget to download your Channels 24 app for those watching, well, UK, anywhere else outside this country, because you'll thank us later. Yes, I'm talking about, yeah, that's the app you see there. So just a lot of good with that one. Well, we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
I am Nel Taigbe. Thank you for watching.
I still wonder what the reaction will be to, the Minister of Sports and him asking people to
check
come
your
back
Twitter handle.
home,
You see it.
Under 23 team saying, "Don't come near us." Well, I look forward to those reactions on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maokbe Ogun.
We're seeing some of them already on Twitter.
Yes, indeed.
And very caustic too. But we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.